Hey guys, Yips here, coming up with a video, and today I want to do another update on my ED Contagion Occultist League Start. This build is absolutely amazing, and I've made some really nice adjustments to the defensive layers to make it feel even more tanky than it already was in red tier maps. So, one thing that I did was I picked up Zealot's Oath. Life Regeneration is applied to Energy Shield instead. This makes it so much smoother on your ES when you're mapping. Your ES every single time that you enter a pack is just going to be constantly leeching back to full. It's incredible for your EHP. And in order to recover chaos damage, I've picked up another life flask with poison immune. These two things combined together has made the build feel so much more smooth when I'm mapping. No longer is my energy shield bouncing up and down like crazy with my ES on block. It's now just pretty much staying constantly at full. Really, really nice change to the build. Just makes me so much more tanky overall. Another thing that I got was this Warlord's chest, gain 1 endurance charge every second if you've been hit recently. Having 3 endurance charges is extremely noticeable compared to having none. The amount of less damage that you take overall and the amount that your character chunks is extremely noticeable when you're in high tier maps and you have something like this. So if you're able to pick up a Warlord's chest with modifiers and socket colors that work for you, get something like this, I highly recommend it. It's really good. I'm actually opting to use this 5 link with this modifier instead of a 6 link. I value the endurance charges that much over another link on my blade. So keep that in mind for the future if you're looking to get more tanky. In terms of damage, I've upgraded my Essence Drain to level 21. That was a huge upgrade, as well as got Socketed Gems deal 30% more damage over time. That's just huge for my ED. It helps with my clear a lot, and the build is feeling extremely smooth all the way up until T16s. I've also made some mana adjustments, and this is something you'll just have to play with, whether you need Arcane Will, Deep Thoughts, or the Mystic Bulwark for mana. Just pick whatever nodes you need in order to keep your energy shield, or sorry, your mana high and sustainable, so you can sit there and pretty much channel Blight no problem throughout the whole thing. And for me, as long as I have my Arcane Surge up, which I get whenever I Flame Dash, I'm able to channel Blight continuously with no mana problems whatsoever. Here I have a T13 Alked map that I rolled. It has Beyond on it, and I want to just show you guys a little bit of how tanky this build is and how good the clear is and the damage for a solo self-found character on day 4 of the league. So let's jump into it. So what I really want you to pay attention to is not just the clear, but also just how much my energy shield just is always at full. It feels so good. And for a character that isn't an avoidance-based character, having this much level of tank to where I basically never drop my life pool has felt so great and just such a nice thing to be able to play with. The single target of the build is pretty strong overall, I would say. I did end up killing Cirrus as well as T16 Conquerors, and while they did take some time, I was pretty much able to face tank almost every single ability that the bosses had. So there was no scare, it was just a little bit of a grind to kill them. Cirrus was probably about a 5-minute fight, and the Conquerors were maybe a minute or two each, so nothing crazy, but still. Once I do end up getting my 6th link and get my Blight level 21, as well as level 20, as well as get a crown, hunter amulet, things like that, my DPS can get about twice as good as it is now with minor investments, as well as getting some jewels, I think, soon is something I'll start aiming for. So as you can see, zero struggles at all in this T13, just everything just dies, no problem. Another thing that I've been thinking about getting is Onslaught Boots. Crafting those I think would be a big help for the build. Or finding some sort of way to build Onslaught into it. I'm no longer running a Onslaught flask, so that's something I'm thinking about. But right now, the grind that I'm currently on is trying to get a Relic Chambers map for freeze immunity. And then once I have freeze immunity, I'll be able to go even further into dangerous mods on T16 maps because I'll pretty much have immunity to all elemental ailments, which will help me out a lot. Right now I sacrifice a little bit too much to get ailment immunity. I can do it, it's just I feel like the build is actually weaker with it, and I would just prefer to run safer maps and go faster than to actually be ailment immune and wait until I get that freeze immunity pantheon. Because ignites really aren't that scary with the build. So this is a little showcase. Let's wait until we get to the boss here. I can show you guys the single target of the build. It's nothing incredible, but it's certainly not poor. Especially for the level of tank and the level of clear that we do have. If you aren't super satisfied and you're playing a build like this or playing something similar with this build's type of damage, what you can actually do is drop some of the tankiness by changing the shield to just another wand that has damage modifiers on it. And if you're able to do that, you can actually increase your damage by over 50-60%. So you can be absolutely blasting, as well as having a bit like cluster setups available to you will also increase the damage of this build quite a bit. Go ahead and pop into the Scourge here just to showcase this. Build is just fine at clearing Scourge. And it's relatively safe content. I've gone up to like 70 stacks of this and been totally fine. So you can do all of the Scourge content. I've killed some of the Scourge bosses in there as well. It really doesn't pose much of an issue. But like I said, you do really want to have multiple life flasks with this build, as you are a little susceptible to chaos damage because you have no way of recovering it. And the way that you do that is having 2 life flasks. So yeah, this was a little bit of an update for the build. It's feeling really good in red tier maps. Like I said, this is a alt 80 map, double curse, beyond multi-proj, and I didn't drop below 90% the entire time, and that's how it is for every single map. It's been really, really enjoyable. So thanks for watching. This is a little bit of an update, and in the future, hopefully I can get some more stuff and share with you guys later. Peace.